Hello, everybody. My name is Mark Forton for Michigan Matters. Today is March 11th, I believe. I guessed right. Thank goodness. Anyway, anyway, uh, there's a few things we're going to discuss today. Okay. Now I know we're Michigan Matters. We're primarily interested in Michigan. However, many times what happens in Congress uh, affects Michigan. So first of all, today in the news is that Senator Cornyn from Texas, who threatened Donald Trump uh, to get his endorsement in the Texas senatorial race against Mr. Paxton, who I believe is the Texas Attorney General and a very strong Trump supporter. He kind of blackmailed the president somewhat. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but somehow he changed his mind and he's going to support the SAVE Act. So while we are facing an election in November, and the president and 80%, I shouldn't say 80, I heard it's almost 80% of Republicans and 70% of Democrats want the SAVE Act passed. This Congress, this Senate has been refusing to do it under Senator Thune, who lives in a state that voted for Trump 63%. Talk about mandates. The American people want this passed, and these people are dragging their feet, and Cornyn is playing games. I certainly hope if any Texans are watching this, I hope and pray that they get out there and vote for Mr. Paxton in the primary. This stuff has got to stop. The American people want representation that they're entitled to under the Constitution of the United States. And it's really sickening what's going on. My fear is that they will pass the act, but they've been dragging their feet to the point where when they pass it, they can say, oh, what a shame. We don't have time to implement it in this election. We'll have to make it start in 2028. These people are crooks. Believe me, if the House of Representatives were unaware that the Senate would roadblock this, they never would have passed their share of it in the first place. This government is not for Trump. You watch the State of the Union, all the Republicans cheering and screaming USA, USA, and they're supporting Trump left and right for us to watch that on TV. But they are not. They'd be sitting on their hands if we weren't watching on TV. So in this election, in Michigan, we're going to talk about this election more after we get through the state convention. But I'm not voting for anybody personally that's an incumbent, especially on the Republican side if there's a challenger. That's the way I feel. I don't think these people are supporting the president at all, and I want to start seeing some support. But anyway, that's enough on that. Now, the Iran thing is also a great big thing in the news. We have a lot of, influencers out there hammering the president about this thing. What I'd like you all to do is consider going to Promethean Action, okay? And that's Susan Kakindra. She has been doing absolutely fantastic videos. She's got a much clearer understanding of what's really going on in this mess. Also, look for speeches by Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio is another one. What an outstanding Secretary of State. And he is described in fact, he did something a number of years ago, I think around 11 years ago, where it's all over the internet right now. I think you can find it. And where he made comments 11 years ago, and before the comments, I guess before the Senate, he said, I want you to record this for the future. And you should hear this thing. It's absolutely phenomenal. This thing is not us doing this because Israel wants us to do it. It's none of these things. So check out Susan Kakindra, Promethean Action, sign up for their newsletter, okay? And watch them because they really have a clear understanding of what may really be going on here. And it's very important. And also remember a little bit of history. There's a couple of things I want to mention about Iran also. Who started? Why are we there now? We are there, and we've lost a few people. This is all because of the Democrat Jimmy Carter giving Iran away from an ally and turning it into this mess. He did it. He gave away the Panama Canal. He did all this dumb stuff. This guy I don't think there was two brain cells to put together. I don't think it was nefarious. I think he was really a good man. He did a lot of good things. But boy, as president of the United States, he invented stupid. And he lived long enough. Thank goodness he lived long enough to see a dumber president than him in Joe Biden. He could at least go to his grave knowing he wasn't the worst. But he started all this stuff. Jimmy Carter started all this stuff. Also, I would like to make a brief comment about our Second Amendment rights. Everybody's saying the people of Iran should rise up. Yeah, they should, and I'm sure they want to. But guess what? They have no gun rights. There's no guns in the regions except what gets imported in by militias and all that sort of thing. It's just incredible to me how the Democrats, are they showing what they are? They're in support. The Democrats are all in support of the guy that just got blown away in Iran. They're all in support of all this stuff. And they want our guns. Gee, is there a coincidence there? We're the only country that has a right, you and I, to defend our families and defend ourselves, whether it be in public or whatever, from attack. Boy, they fear American gun ownership so bad it's unbelievable. I saw a thing on the internet where there's 17 million American hunters out on the field last year during deer season across the country, and not one mass shooting anywhere. It's interesting. But anyway, moving on. Excuse me, I'm sorry. The last thing I'd like to talk about is these proposed massive density housing bills in the good old Uniparty Lansing. HB 5529, 5530, 31, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got a bunch of bills. I'm sorry. A bunch of bills affecting our housing, taking away our rights, taking away almost every liberty we have. And I did talk to one of the sponsors today. I'm not going to mention right now because I'm in hopes that we can come up with some kind of reasonable conclusion. But anyway, one of them allows parcels as small as 1,500 square feet. So those of you who buy lots to build houses, or you want to move into a subdivision, that subdivision or that individual property can be as small as 1,500 square feet to build a house on. Then there's another one, the same thing, only I don't quite understand the difference in them. Something about public water available, but it's the same thing. Then, excuse me, there's one that allows homes smaller than 500 square feet. I really love that one. That they can come in anywhere. Doesn't matter what your local zoning is. Local zoning must allow 500 square foot homes in a subdivision or anything. Now, do you know how big that is? If you get a contractor, I haven't done this in many a year, but it used to be a basic two-car garage was 22 by 22, which is, I think, around 480 square feet. So it's only a handful of square feet more than a two-car garage. There's nothing wrong with that sort of thing if somebody wants that. There may be somebody that wants a little house. But for the state to decide what local governments can do is something else again. Now, another one allows mobile homes in residential areas. Most homeowners in subdivisions don't want mobile homes in their no disrespect to people that want to have a mobile home. There are places where they are. But this allows, you can't keep them out of a subdivision. So, and another one, 5583, significantly it decreases the setbacks. The setback is, like in my neighborhood, there is no sidewalks, okay? There's county ditches. There are many subdivisions with sidewalks. Now, the sidewalk, and maybe a couple feet in or whatever, does not belong to the home. That is a easement, okay? Now, but the house has to be, according to local zoning or whatever, has to be so many feet back from that line. So this thing significantly decreases it down to 25 feet. So a community cannot make it more than 25 feet. So What does that do? Well, you got to make room for 500 square foot houses. Now, I don't want to, you're going to have to interpret what I'm saying, but how many cultures are going to take advantage of that and pack in tons of families in different areas? Okay? How many are now illegal aliens and everything else stacked into hotels, stacked into everywhere? This is all what this is right here is the New World Order that Trump is attacking, globalization, George Bush's New World Order, Charles Schwab, we're going to own nothing and be happy. They're saying they're doing this to make housing more affordable. Well, I got some great ideas to make housing more affordable in the state of Michigan. You get rid of the property tax or drastically reduce it. You take museums out of a tri-county area, paying for a Detroit museum on a property tax, all this kind of stuff, zoos and everything else, on taxes in which you can take away property. There are people that can afford a home, but they can't afford the taxes on the home because it's going up. And every time the home changes, the Headley Amendment doesn't protect the new person, and they got to pay more. This stuff is just amazing to me. Michigan is moving forward at rocket speed on the 2030 agenda of cramming us all into cities and everything else, taking away our rights. They're moving full speed ahead. It's amazing what's going on. While Trump is trying to fix everything, and he is, but it's not affecting Michigan because businesses aren't going to come here. Our electric bill just went up again. We got to pay for them useless windmills. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got to get control of this state house. And again, I suggest don't vote for incumbents. We have a handful of real good ones that are really trying to do some things, but we have to figure them out, and we're going to figure it out, and we're going to start broadcasting it, and we're going to say, replace them all. If there's incumbents, if there are challengers to incumbents, don't let the power of the incumbency win that election. We got to start replacing Lansing. And we're going to start reporting on who the good people are, of which there are some. And we're going to start reporting on the bad ones. I mean, this kind of thing should not see the light of day. These things, one of them, by the way, one last thing, and I'm almost done, is one allows duplexes in neighborhoods. Okay. So your neighbor could buy your house, they could turn it into a duplex, a house next door or whatever. I'm sorry. And then in-law units, they're allowing you to build in-law units. Now, I don't like that either. I do know of people who have put additions on their home because mom is sick and she's staying with them now, that kind of thing. And that's perfectly fine, but you have what they call variances for that. You go to your township zoning commission and you apply for a variance. And there's a procedure, and I would think in most cases, I know that couple I know of had no major issues, that they can get that done. So we can do these things locally. The state overreach is unbelievable. We have a uniparty system in Michigan who's controlled by all the dark money PACs and everything else, and they could care less about you and how much your property's worth and everything. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's about all I have for today. I want to thank you for being with us. I want you to pray for the president, pray for Iran, pray for the people of Iran. Oh, yes, I forgot almost, which I am very capable of doing. The Michigan State Convention is the 26th, couple of weeks. Now, on the 23rd, at our office, we're having a candidate training, and they're going to go over the Macomb Convention that just took place recently, but what to expect at the GOP convention about credentialing or whatever. There's a lot of issues that are involved there, so they'll be going over that. Now, that's March 23rd, 6 p.m. at our office at 39099 Garfield Road, Clinton Township. So you're welcome to come to that. It's free, and that's going to be informative. And that's the 23rd, just days before the state convention. The state convention is very important. If you are a delegate or an alternate, please go. It's important to be there. You're elected to be there. We cannot, I tell this to delegates all the time, we cannot criticize our elected officials for not doing the job if we don't do the job we were elected to. And many times delegates don't. Many times they don't come to meetings, they don't come to they're only supposed to really have to come to the conventions, of which there's only 2 in an election cycle. And then the state convention, if they're elected and want to go. They got to want to go to get elected to go. So please go. It's going to be a very important convention. and come to this training where you can learn more about it. Again, pray for Iran, pray for our troops, the president, and the people of Iran. Many of them, if you're looking at social media, they are excited and happy that they're finally have a chance for freedom. So it's important that that turns out right. So pray for them also, okay? God bless you and everybody, and we'll see you next time.